They have superstars, they have legends, but the most important player at Real Madrid is not who you think. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. When people talk about Real Madrid, they talk about goals, magic, and moments. They talk about icons. They talk about Galacticos. They talk about players who decide games, but they don't talk about the player who makes all of it possible, because his impact isn't always visible. He doesn't dominate headlines, he doesn't chase the spotlight, but without him, Real Madrid doesn't function. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why Federico Valverde is not just important, he's essential. There's a reason why casual fans don't fully understand Valverde, because he doesn't fit into a simple category. He's not just a midfielder, a winger, a defensive player, an attacking threat. He's all of them at once, and that's exactly what makes him dangerous. In modern football, players are often defined by roles, but Valverde breaks that system. He adapts, he evolves, he fills the gaps no one else sees, and in a team like Real Madrid, that's priceless. If Real Madrid is a machine, Valverde is the engine. Relentless, explosive, non-stop. He runs more than almost anyone on the pitch, but it's not just about distance, it's about timing. He knows when to press, when to cover, when to attack, when to sacrifice himself for the team, and that intelligence is what separates him. Because football at the highest level is not about running, it's about running at the right moment. Ask any top manager what they want in a player, and they'll describe Valverde. Under Carlo Ancelotti, Valverde became more than a midfielder. He became a solution. Need defensive stability? Valverde. Need width on the right? Valverde. Need energy to break a press? Valverde. Need a late run into the box? Valverde. He gives Ancelotti something most managers dream of: freedom. Because when you have a player who can do everything, you can change everything. Football is about balance. Too attacking, you get exposed. Too defensive, you lose creativity. Valverde is the balance. When Real Madrid attacks, he supports. When they lose the ball, he reacts first. When others go forward, he stays disciplined. And when the team is under pressure, he becomes the shield. This is why Real Madrid rarely looks open when he plays, because he's always there, fixing problems before they even happen. Here's the problem. Football fans are obsessed with numbers, goals, assists, highlights, and Valverde doesn't always dominate those, so people assume he's just a hardworking player, but that's a massive mistake, because the most important players are not always the most visible ones. They're the ones who prevent danger, enable others, control transitions, maintain structure, and Valverde does all of it. Think about this. What happens when Valverde doesn't play suddenly? The midfield looks slower, the defense is more exposed, the transitions break down, the team feels disconnected. That's not coincidence, that's absence, because his presence isn't loud. Modern football is changing. It's faster, more intense, more chaotic, and traditional roles are disappearing. This is where Valverde becomes even more valuable, because he represents the future. A player who can defend like a fullback, run like a winger, pass like a midfielder, shoot like a forward. He's not just versatile, he's complete. There are players who entertain, and there are players who win. Valverde does both, but in a subtle way. His decisions are fast, his positioning is elite, his awareness is constant. He doesn't need 10 touches, sometimes one is enough. And that's the difference between good players and elite ones. The biggest stage reveals the truth. And Valverde delivers when it matters. Champions League nights, high-pressure games, moments where everything is on the line. He doesn't disappear, he steps up, not always with goals, but with actions that win games. Recoveries, pressing runs, defensive duels. He thrives in chaos, and that's exactly what Real Madrid is built on.